Assalamualaikum, and first of all, I want to introduce myself. Alright, my name is Siti Norharisha binti Mohamad Harun from DSM 5D. Alright, today I want to present about my topic is country similarity theory and relative factor endowment. Okay, country similarity theory. What is country similarity theory? Introduced by Swedish economist Stefan Linder. Linder believed that international trade in manufactured goods results from similarities of preference consumer in countries that are at the same stage of economic development. And most trade in manufactured goods should be between countries with similar per capita incomes and that intra-industry trade in manufactured goods. Alright, next slide is inter-industry trade. What is inter-industry trade? The exchange of goods produced by one industry in one country for goods produced by a different industry in another country, such as Malaysian timber for Chinese silk. For example, Malaysia exports shoes to Europe and imports cars from Europe. Then for next slide is intra-industry trade. Okay, what intra-industry trade? The exchange of goods produced in the same industry between two countries. For example, Malaysia export electric goods to Japan, and also Japan export electronic goods to Malaysia. And another example is Malaysia export food such as fruit to Thailand and import rice from Thailand. Okay, next slide is country similarity theory based on the following principle. Okay, there is three content. First is if two countries have related pattern, their customer would claim the same goods with alike degrees of value and superiority. Second is majority of products are developed on the required pattern in the domestic market. And lastly is country with the proximity of geological location also have better trade compared to the far away ones. Alright, the second point is relative factor endowment. Okay, relative factor endowment is this theory focused their attention on how a country could gain comparative advantage by producing products entirely with two Swedish economists Eli Heckscher and Bertil Ohlin. Second is based on a country's production factors, the land, labor, and capital, which provide the funds for investment in plants and equipment. And lastly is a country will have a comparative advantage in the good that use the factor which is heavily endowed. Alright, that's all about a relative factor endowment. Alright, next slide is implication factor endowment theory. Okay, they have two implication, and first is factor price equalization and the second is distribution of income. And then this slide talk about example factor endowment. First, China and India are home to cheap large pools of labor, and then hence these countries have become of optimal location for labor-intensive industry like textile and garments. So, about country similarity and more and relative factor endowment, which is classical or modern. So, for classical is relative factor endowment, and for modern is country similarity theory. So that's all from me. Thank you.